Welcome back. Myself, Professor Jay Tindale from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center. As we discussed in lecture 1 of power system deregulation, actually power system re-regulation, and the subject name is power system restructuring. So deregulation and re-regulation is some similar term, right? So in the previous we are talking about some basic about power system, how power system is to be operated in India, and which are the sectors which is held by the government, and what are the different tasks of that particular sectors, Ministry of Power, CAC, and all this. So we already discussed from this two topic of power system deregulations, history of power system. Now we are starting with the introduction on lecture 2. So these are some introductions of the power system deregulation. Lastly, we discuss about how the power system, this power corporations of India, and some private owners like Adani and Power System. So what is the reason behind why government is invite that private sector? We discuss for regulations. So now introductions of power system deregulation. Deregulations and re-regulations means whatever the system is to be updated for some reason, and that is called as a reformation, re-regulation, deregulations, right? There are for some reason. Deregulations mean we one of the example is we introduce a private sector in power industry, and we are give some licenses to generate the power and distribute it on that. But the whatever the norms of the government is decided, that is based on some tariff base or for the basis on some distributions, that is always followed by his and her company, like Reliance and Adani is following the government rules. They are not make tariff by his or her requirements, right? So it is all this thing of re-regulations that is for the optimal power flow solutions and price based unit commitment. That is the main role, the main meaning of power system deregulation, we can say. It is advancement in power system engineering, maybe the equipments that will be priorly based we can used. So it is due to the rapid growth in electric power demand. Nowadays we know that our society having a new houses are built up, means power requirement of the person is day by day increased. So we have a power plants that is under construction, as I discussed in previous lecture, that is a Kakra Power 700 power or gigawatt power. So they are on build because of the government totally cannot be handle that kind of generations of the power and the demand of the person. So that's why, that is the reason why they are introduce some private sector. Second advantage of private sector is to be, if there is a private sector, then there is a competitions between that, so service is better. For best example, before the 10 year BSNL is only option for communication, telephonic communication. Now the Airtel, Jio, Vodafone, so there is a competition. Before Jio 1 GB for 300 rupees, now for 400 or 399 we getting a 1.4 GB daily uses. So that is a competition, that is always customer having a benefits due to the competitions. So that is a main motto. And optimal power flow, that is another advantages, right? Better service, betterment the equipments, updated equipments, so loss that will be reduced, and so on. But due to that deregulations, transmission system congestion, we are introduced numbers of private sector, means there is a transmission congestions. So that, but obvious, whatever the great thing that's having a advantage and disadvantages. But to reduce that congestion, available transfer capability, there is a based on congestion management system are introduced to reduce that congestions. Now what is the regulations? The regulation means government has to be set down the law and rules that put the limit. As I told you, private sector must be follow the rules which is decided by the government and define the how particular industry or company is to be operated. For example, is BSNL and Indian Railway, right? Nowadays the railway having a deregulation is started. Private trains are introduced because no facilities. Now why the electric utility industry has to be regulated? What is the requirement of regulated? What is the traditional system having an issue? So that's why we are regulate the industry. So it reduced the risk. It was a pursuits of the both business and the government. It is legitimized the electric utility business. So the government franchises and the regulation is clearly implied in the public, directly implementations on public, which was necessary to solve the problems. Now the local monopolies build up the system, right? Simplify the buying process and for the consumer. Now there is online bill payments. There is some applications are there. Power consumption per day, per month, per 2 months, we can easily do that, right? Now the structures of the regulated industry, I always mention the references. I know you, we know that which are the references. I am not making this figure by myself, but I am considered from the some references. That's why I always mention the references. Okay, so you can see traditional system is that there is a generation, transmission, distribution and directly to the consumer. There is only one company. If the consumer want a power, then only one generation company are there. So whatever the generation company is decided the rating of tariff, you have to pay for that, right? For example, like BSNL, you call or not, you monthly of 350 charge, that is mandatory. You have to, that is must be compulsory to have to pay if you have a connection then, right? So now that is a we are close with some system. There is no options, then we have to take the power from the generating company, right? So there is only one company. So you can energy flow, that is in forward direction, money flow, that is on both sides, right? From transmission company to consumer company only. So what is the advantage and disadvantage of that? So we can say obligations to serve must be provide the service to all consumer, right? Least cost operations to minimize the revenue requirement, ensure the rate of return, fair return on the investment. So these are the advantages of that, and some disadvantages, that is it is difficult to segregate the cost and average tariff charges. One company, whatever the charges, you have to pay for that. Now what is a deregulation? Deregulations means government is remove or restrict some reduced restrictions on the power industry and invite the private sector to invest in the power industry. Now deregulation is a restructuring of the rules and economical essence that the government is set to control the drive of, for example, is Reliance Power. Why deregulations? To encouraging the private sector, as I told you that there is a competition, and whenever the competition, it's always profitable to the consumer. So first our motto is to be unit based tariff, unit based commitment, price unit based commitment, that is we can solve by this. So restructuring of Indian power network, the power generation can be reached the consumer in a competitive way. Now regulations known in different names, so it is called as a re-regulation, deregulation, open market, open power market, competitive market, vertical unbundled power system, open access power system, restructuring, that is privatizations, and deregulation. So these are some name. We can call deregulation by this. We also call by this name deregulations. Now power system that moving to the deregulations. We are talking about the power system only. I am taking an example of BSNL and other telephonic company, that is for the example purpose. But now actual deregulations of the power system, that is moving to the deregulations. Now since the mid 1980s, electric power industry that is experienced a periodic rapid critical change. Now electricity generation, transmission and distributions need a more efficient, because we have a loss. We are whatever generating the power, we are transmitting, we are distributing 2 times, so there is some loss. So some of the industry are required, person are required, middle order is required to research on that and try to eliminate that loss, not 100%, but that it can be reduced some amount of. That's why we can improve the efficiency, right? So now these are some structure. Now initially, before the regulated industry, you have 3 only. You can see there is generation, transmission, distribution and consumer. Now what will happen? Now directly generation having an independent system operator, Adani Power Plant, Reliance Power Plant, right? They having a retailers. They are transmitting the power between consumer directly to the renewable and generations, right? So now the energy flow that will be on vertical directions. You can see that. So generation, transmission, so consumer having a 2 option, directly taking for the government or independent retail operator. They maybe get some offers to that, right? So there are retailers, means so many retailers, so many independent power system operators are there. But you can see the transmissions that is on based on the government. Whatever the generated power is to be, must be transmitted by the governments, then and then it will be distributed, right? So these are the independent system operators and competitions are there. So consumer having now more options. Now conditions lead to be deregulations. The need for the regulation change in generation, the economics of the scale, updatings of the generator equipments. Retailers and independent operators are to be always benefit where when they use equipment that is highly efficient. So flexible transmission that will be possible, right? So privatizations, then motivations for the better job, free up with the rules, not 100% rules, but there are some rules. Cost is expected to drop. Competition, as I told you, there are so many operators, independent operators. So we have a choice. Whatever the lowest cost, we are prefer that with a better service. Now traditional company, there is a generation. We can see this is some vertical limits, generation, transmission and only distribution. There is no other horizontal option. But now you can see there is so many options. There is a Genco, mean different generator company. Before that only one generator company. Now that is so many company. Transmission, that is on hand of government. Distribution, that will be by the private sector for better service operation. So you can show generator company, now it is called as a Genco, transmission that is Transco, and distribution that is called as a Disco. You can see there are lots of options for distribution also as well as generation. Now types of that is called as ancillary services. First there is a generation company that is called Genco, as I told you. Independent power producer, that is called as a IPP. Transmission company, that is called as a Transco. Transmission owner, that is TO. Distribution company, that is Disco. Independent system operator, that is ISO. So now generation, transmission and distribution, there is 3 layer that will be divided into some 6 layer. Now generation, now there is a middle order independent power producer. Transmission, that is the middle of that. Distribution company, that having an independent system operators, and power exchanger. Now we have a issue due to the deregulation, that is transmission congestion. When producer and consumer of the electric, which is desire to produce and consume the energy, so what will happen, and that causes a transmission system to operate beyond its transfer limit, and that's said to be the congested. Transmission line is to be congested. So transmission congested can be defined as when the conditions, it is sufficient transmission capacity to simultaneously implemented all preferred transactions in the electricity market. So the congestions, that is an issue during the deregulations. So that issue can be neutralized by the three matter of tackle the transmission congestion. First, that is a price area congestion management system which is already implemented in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. Secondly, there is available transmission capacity, that is capability, that is called as ATC based congestion management system which is already implemented in US. And lastly, optimal power flow, that is called as OPF based congestion management system which is already implemented in UK. So congestion, so deregulation having whatever the disadvantage of congestion, that can be utilized, that can be neutralized by these three, and which is already implemented in UK, US, and Sweden, Denmark. Now why? What is a available transfer capacity? We are discuss only one, right? So ATC is defined as a maximum amount of additional megawatt power possible between the two part of the network, or manually we can say ATC is equal to TTC minus TRM. TTC means total transfer capability less than transmission reliability margin, that is called TR. Now TTC is defined as the amount of electric power that can be transferred, and TRM, that is defined as the amount of transmission transfer capability which is necessary to ensure the interconnection transmission network, right? Now what is the purpose of ATC? So to divider the electricity, what your electric power reliability, and provide a flexible from the changing the system condition. That is advantage of ATC, purpose of ATC. So it's indicate about the additional amount of power transfer, and means it's allow the trending of the electric power system. Now there are so many compensators are to be utilized in it's my lecture 2 of the static power compensator. You can see on YouTube, right? Lecture 2. So I discuss with what is reactive power and how we need to control. So we need to no need to explain more about voltage control and reactive power support. So we know that we have a numbers of non-linear loads that need to be, unbalance the system. So we need to compensate that, otherwise it's ultimately increase the system current. So to reduce that, we are using some reactors and capacitor arrangement, that is flexible transmission system, FCTCR, TSCTCR, TCR, so many components are there, DVR, dynamic voltage restorer, TSSC, so many. So we are not discuss this, but now these are the one of the topic we need to discuss on that. Now some conclusion. So power industry are moving rapidly from the regulated conventional setup deregulation environment, and also require the support. So we renew our operational methodology, which is introducing the optimizations of social benefits and price based unit commitment, that we need to talk about that. Now lastly, we are talking about some references. So you can see the references. So Indian power sector engineering development and critical issue. So I most probably this is taking from the Wikipedia. And lastly, secondly, A.R. Abhaykar and S.A. Kapada introduced to the deregulations of the power industry. So I am taking some figures, references of the structure from that. And third one is Nayan Prasad Padya Yog Raj said, advancement in power system engineering, education and research with power industry. Thank you so much.